It is 4 p.m. We bring developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. You're snorting. Some stores are watching this last day of September. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee will invite resigned Congressman Zaldico and Leyte First District Congressman Martin Romualdez to its next hearing on flood control projects. Committee Chairman Senator Ping Lacson says the move is meant to dispel perceptions that certain people are being targeted, favored, or protected. An invitation letter will be sent to Ko, and if he fails to appear, a subpoena and show cause order may follow. Romualdez's invitation, on the other hand, will be coursed through Speaker Boji D.
Jan Chan, the third nominee of Ako Bicol Party list, will replace Zaldico in the House of Representatives. That's after Ko's resignation amid the flood control kickback allegations. Under the party list law, vacancies are automatically filled by the next qualified nominees submitted to COMELEC by the same group. Ako Bicol secured 2 seats in the 2025 midterm elections, initially occupied by Ko and Representative Alfredo Garbin Jr.
Detained preacher Apollo Quiboloy is in the hospital. He was rushed there on September 11 due to difficulty in breathing. The BJMP says he was later diagnosed with community-acquired pneumonia. Quiboloy will be returned to the Pasig City Jail once cleared for discharge by his attending physician.
And 5 new undersecretaries of the Department of Public Works and Highways took their oath of office yesterday. DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon led the ceremony for the officials appointed by President Bongbong Marcos. The new undersecretaries are Are Perez, Arthur Biznar, Charles Calima Jr., Ricardo Bernabe III, and Samuel Rufino Turgano. In other news, the International Criminal Court maintained that former President Rodrigo Duterte remains a flight risk if granted interim release. In a publicly redacted document, the ICC prosecutor adds that Digong could commit further crimes and is likely to interfere in proceedings. Earlier, Duterte's defense team submitted medical reports to the Hague court claiming that their client has cognitive impairment. They're also hopeful that the former president's request for interim release be granted soon. Meantime, ICC accredited lawyer Cristina Conti is questioning the timing of the new pleading of Duterte's lawyers.
Yung timing, number one, ng mga submissions ng defense, parang suspicioso. If President Duterte, the former president, had been unfit for trial from the very beginning, as his attorney says, then why raise it 5 months after he was arrested? Right on the brink, on the eve of the hearing, confirmation of charges hearing. Second, it's one pleading, one request after the other. Today, the defense has provided some medical information. I understand, kasama nung submission niya ay yung mismong report. Either party can provide this information to the court and the court will decide on his status. Ang nakita namin from experience, the ICC pretrial chamber, the judges, can appoint an independent panel of experts.
Malacanang has once again dismissed rumors of a coup attempt in the armed forces against President Bongbong Marcos. In a press briefing today, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro says the president trusts the military to remain solid and loyal to the Constitution. She also backed Armed Forces Chief General Romeo Bronner's commitment that the institution will stay stable and will refuse to join any chaos.
Paniwala pa rin po, may tiwala po ang ating Pangulo sa ating mga kasundaluhan na sila po ay mananatiling matatag at ang kanila lamang na ipasusunod ay kung ano po ang sinasabi ng konstitusyon. At lahat naman po tayo, hindi lamang po ang kasundaluhan ang galit sa korupsyon. So, atin pong igagalang ang kanilang mga mensahe dahil hindi po lahat ng tao gugustuhin na manakawan ang pondo ng bayan. Nadinig na po natin si General Bronner. Sinabi po niya na mananatili silang matatag at hindi po sila sasali sa gintong klaseng gulo.
Meantime, the palace defended Marcos's appointment of former PNP Chief General Rodolfo Azurin as advisor to the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or the ICI. Azurin was earlier linked to the alleged cover-up in a massive drug haul back in 2022.
Kung sino man po ang namili, ibibigay ko na naman po sa inyo kung anong detalye dyan. Pero ayon po sa Pangulo, ang pagkakapili po kay General Azurin ay base na rin po sa kanyang karanasan, sa kanyang mga kagalingan, at siya naman din po ay investigador at walang komplikasyon. Hindi po kasi siya politiko. Maliwanag, kayo na po nagsabi, hindi nakasuhan. Kasi kung naakusahan lang, madali po kasi mag-name drop. Madaling magbanggit ng pangalan, madaling magturo, lalo na ngayon. Pero iba po kasi kapag nakasuhan at nagkaroon ng desisyon ng conviction.
Castro also blasted VP Sara Duterte for once again linking the president to anomalous flood control projects. And joining us today, if you could hear somebody snorting in the background, that was Toricon's resident political pundit or heckler, Tito Rol Llamas.
Ganda nga po.
Snorting again.
Di pa ako na-introduce, may putik na eh.
Don't you love it?
Alam ko yung principal ng mga.
Wala. I don't insult you.
Hindi ko na alam kung saan ako sasangga eh.
Namiss ka namin kahapon eh.
There are no permanent friends in politics.
Pinagpalit
I
na
know.
kami,
Wala
pinagpalit
din
na kami kay
dito.
Ami Puintuan eh.
Si Ami eh,
Wala
kinidnap
din
ako eh.
dito. Okay, speaking of Ami, from Philippine Star, Editor-in-Chief Ami Pumintuan. Hi, Ami.
Hi. Good afternoon, everybody.
Sa kanyang ano
Yan
ngayon,
Masama ng panahon eh.
At least sa Philippine Star,
Lumalapit daw si
pinapakain
Paolo.
ako.
Ganun?
Oo.
May patsibog?
Oo, may patsibog
Pang
doon.
star?
May dessert
No,
pa.
syempre. Saka
Bakit
may
may ganun
kape.
kayo? Kasi Ami, magaling
May
magluto
kape,
yan.
may kape.
Magaling
Hindi,
bake
pa
yan.
naman,
Oo.
sandwich, na Mary Grace, at saka
Hindi ko luto yun.
Unlike here.
unlike here. Tsaka yung
ano-
cheesecake galing
dito
sa
wala kahit ano.
Starbucks. Tapos isang mataas na kape.
May kape
Ganun-
naman today.
Hindi, ganyan nga.
Taas naman ang kape mo.
May kape
Oh,
naman.
isang
Ganyan
litro.
nga, pero lit. No? Sa kanila mataas. No?
Lumalaki ah. Kanina ganun eh.
Then, tsaka maganda yung sound system ng kanilang Zoom, ha?
Aba?
Oo.
Aba? Ibig sabihin, mas maganda yung sound system ng
Anong tawag mo?
ng signal.
Anong tawag mo doon sa kwan ko? Doon sa Zoom ko? Potomi.
Photomy.
Yung backdrop.
May kurtina sa likod. Alam mo, sa photomy, yung binabago mo yung kulay ng kurtina. Di ba? Alam
Kasi may
mo, puti,
nilalagay
blue.
doon na iba eh. May nilalagay doon na iba.
Hindi na alam ng mga bata
Pag-interview.
yung Potomi mo.
Kaya nga, parang update mo naman yung references mo.
So 70s.
Tapos may lalabas sa isang strip ng gano'n.
Hindi ko alam, hindi pa ako buhay in the 70s. But anyways, let's get on to the news. The first thing I need to do is correct what I read. Sabi ko kanina, the International Criminal Court maintains that former President Rodrigo Duterte remains a flight risk if granted interim release. I should clarify that it's not the court itself, it's not ICC, but the Office of the Prosecutor at the ICC.
Kala ko pa naman perfect siya.
Maintains that Duterte remains a flight risk.
Binulong mo pa, nandiyan yung mic sa kaliwa.
But I didn't write this. I wouldn't have made that mistake.
Para ka si Cheese, sinisi ang iba.
What about Ed? Diba? What about ism nga tayo?
Para kayo si Cheese eh, sinisi lahat. Nahuli siya
Uy,
nag-jaywalking.
let's not hit Senator Cheese. Ayokong makasuhan, okay?
Okay lang, pwede naman ako ma-disbar dahil
Ay,
hindi ako
ikaw.
abogado.
Pwede ka ma-disbar.
Hindi ako abogado eh. Pwede
Pero
ako ma-disbar.
pwede ka ma-charge ng unjust vexation. Remember? Pwede ka
Vexatious naman talaga.
Oo, vexatious nga naman talaga
Unless hindi
siya.
mo napansin.
Hindi lang unjust, pati yung just vexation.
Pati yung just vexation. Pwede siya ma-charge.
Wala, Tuesday nga.
Ano?
Tuesday.
Hinihintay namin yung reaction ni Speaker Romualdez kung haharap siya sa Senate.
Oh yeah, the invitation.
Dinaan
Kasi
kay...
sinasabi ng mga senador, bakit si Toby Chango humarap? So, ano naman, pwede din naman siyang mag-volunteer, no?
Pero hindi naman siya
Na humarap.
hindi naman siya pwedeng isabpina eh. Dahil merong...
Oo nga.
Interparliamentary
Invited
courtesy.
siya. To be invited.
courtesy, oo. Eh,
Ang pwedeng isabina si Saldico, no? Because he is no longer a
hindi na
congressman.
congressman. oo.
Oo. Pwede siyang isabina.
so,
Kung
yeah.
makikita nila kung nasaan.
So, well, the DOJ is looking, and last we heard nga, sabi ng DOJ, he's in Europe.
Nasa Spain daw.
I wonder at what point he becomes a fugitive. right? When
Kailangan may court case.
kailangan, oo.
Kasi
May court.
if you're
Arrest
familiar with the
po,
case
may
of
arrest
Harry Roque,
warrant.
si Harry Roque may sapina sa kanya yung Congress House Committee. May sapina sa kanya. Pero siyempre,
Yung House.
because it's not a court case, it's not a court arrest warrant, hindi pwede siyang hugutin
wala yan.
from Europe ng Interpol o ng anybody else.
It wasn't until the criminal charges were filed
But even then,
that he became a fugitive.
hindi pa. Filing pa lang eh.
Kailangan
na-file pa
may
lang
arrest warrant.
There you go. Kailangan mo ng court order for arrest. Otherwise, it's all from the side of the prosecution pa lang.
So he's not technically a fugitive. You know, actually speaking of Harry Roque, sometimes hindi ko na alam when people say bring him home. Hindi ko na alam who they're referring to. Are they referring to Duterte, to Harry Roque, or now to Zaldico?
Depending sino nagsabi.
Sino? Who do you want to bring home?
Depending on who made the demand.
Naguguluhan na ako. I mean, there's so many people to bring home, no, to face charges. At this point, meron din the other members of the small committee in Congress that people are saying need to answer to these allegations as well.
Even in the case of Zaldico, even if, for example, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee issues a subpoena for Zaldico, hindi yan cause for extradition yet. Or even for Interpol to step in. Kasi kailangan mo ng judicial process to involve that. Hindi kaya yan ng House o ng Senate subpoenas. So, pangalawa, extradition. That's PD 1069 yata yun, of 1977. Kasama dun sa prerequisites ng extradition is it must be for a crime that is not politically involved or politically motivated.
How do you prove that?
Yun,
My goodness.
So, yeah,
May corruption naman yun eh.
May
Yeah.
ganung na
May ganung
it
slant.
must not be because of his expression of political beliefs or religion or nationality or ideology. So may ganun.
But then
Kaya
with,
baka daw pumuntang Portugal. Kasi wala tayong extradition.
Yeah.
Ami, don't forget, sino nagsuggest yan? Hindi ba our dear friend
Hindi,
here
pero
a few
matagal nang
days ago?
kumakalat yan. Kaya nasa Spain na nga raw malapit na sa
Di ba a
Portugal.
few days ago, yung friend natin dito,
Sarap ng tawa niyo.
Makapag-walk out ka dito.
Buko, tutuwa ka naman.
May tira doon sa kabila, may tira doon sa kabila. Sakal man, lulugar niya.
Alam mo lang, mahal ka namin. Gano'n.
speak for yourself.
Nahugas kami bigla.
Yun yung uso ngayon eh, hugas kamay.
Kanina lang, nagreklamo.
Good cup, bad cup.
Kanina lang, may kaaway yan. Nadaan ako sa baba niya, may inaaway.
Pero
Buti
kahit
na lang
walang
di ako.
extradition, pwede siyang pakuha sa Interpol.
Yes.
Pero the problem with the Interpol is this. I mean, Interpol is the go-to in case you don't have an extradition treaty. And I think we have only around 14 countries with treaties with the Philippines. Thereabouts, mga ganun. Out of 195. So most of the countries we don't have a treaty with. Now, you can go with the Interpol route, pero if you go with the Interpol route, that is up to the host country to decide whether they will accede to
Abide
your
by.
Yes.
request. It's a request lang eh.
Sa extradition kasi, required sila. Dahil it's a treaty eh.
Tapos yung sa Interpol, usually the host country will either agree to deport. In other words, because there's a violation of their law, so i-deport siya as an unsavory alien. Hindi unsavory, undesirable alien.
Undesirable.
Unsavory.
or surrender, like what the Philippines did with Duterte.
Parang
He
si
voluntarily
Manny-
surrender.
Parang si Manny Mugato, unsavory. Inaisip ko.
Undesirable.
Pwede nating invoke yung Convention on Corruption.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's,
But then
it's
again,
legally binding.
but
Pwede
then-
siyang ipadala sa atin.
so 4 countries with official extradition treaty, but don't forget there are other jurisdictions that will
Yeah.
look at this unfavorably.
Yeah.
Right? Yesterday we were talking about Singapore. Singapore is pretty heavy-handed when it comes to
Oh, yeah.
cases like this.
Yeah.
Pwede kang ma-deny ng entry even before you step foot. Once they
Lalo na sa issue ng corruption.
they're very sensitive to that. So
very
it doesn't
sensitive,
always have to be an extradition treaty. There are many countries.
It can be
that
up
are sensitive to this.
But then it's left to the discretion of
Correct.
the host
Oo.
country
Correct.
on what it wants to do with you.
Tanong natin sa ating next guest kung si
Okay.
Harry Roque ay pwede lang i-extradite sa...
Talaga naman talaga, Harry Roque.
Segue lang, segue
Okay,
lang.
let's segue into our first guest for this Tuesday afternoon. We are talking to former Senator Antonio Sonny Trillanes IV. Good afternoon, Senator.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Magandang
Hi,
hapon po
Senator.
sa inyong lahat. Yes, ma'am.
Nasa ka ba ngayon, Senator?
Nasa Manila na.
Portugal.
Parating lang natin.
Ah,
Yes.
sir, actually that's what I wanted to confirm with you. Galing ka daw The Hague.
Yes, galing po tayo doon. Meron po tayong mga engagements doon. So, marami tayong nalaman at marami rin tayong nagawa.
Sir, ano nalaman ninyo? Inunti-unti.
Ano
kasi
po yung
na-
nalaman niyo?
Marami kasing dumarating dito, Senator, na mga news eh. Lumabas sa Manila Times, at sa Manila Times ulit. Lumabas na.
Nadapa daw yung dating Pangulo at nahanap unconscious, among other things. So, of course, these are things that are medyo confidential. But anyway, what have you discovered?
On the birds daw, nabibigyan na ng interim release. Ganun ba mga balita?
Oo. So, una muna dyan sa ukol dito sa sitwasyon, yung nilalabas na ilang beses daw na unconscious, na nakita, ako, I am not inclined to believe na nangyari yan. Dahil na-discuss sa akin extensively yung detention conditions doon, merong medical team na on standby sa loob ng detention facility. And besides yung detention facility, parang country club yun, parang resort yun, komportable sila. May mga orderlies na kung ano yung mga kailangan nila, tapos may mga recreation facilities. Then, itong si Digong mismo, meron siyang access sa pamilya niya 24/7. Kaya niyang tumawag. Kaya the fact na hindi ito nasabi nung mga anak niya tuwing bumibisita, di ba, nagpe-press con sila after, ni isang insidente na wala silang ni-report eh. As late as last week nung nagbisita sila, paglabas, wala naman eh. Prior to September 23 na confirmation of charges hearing. Kaya ako naniniwala, lang nila to, gimmick lang nila to, drama lang nila to, para makatulong dun sa kanilang nire-request na interim release. At the same time, para sa kanilang base dito sa Pilipinas, kaawaan siya. Kaya yun lang po yan. Kasi aside dun sa emergency medical team sa loob ng detention facility, may naka-standby na ambulansya, 5 minutes away lang ospital. At alam niyo naman yung Netherlands, very sila sa human rights at saka sa mga ganyang medical conditions, humanitarian conditions. Very sensitive sila sa ganyan. Kaya malamang sa malamang hindi yan totoo. Nagdadrama lang itong pamilya nila para dun sa mga gusto nila mangyari.
Senator, ikaw ba, were you able to see the detention facility for yourself?
Diniscuss yun, part yun dun sa isang engagement ko, diniscuss yung mga polisiya nila at para makita lang. So ako, I was able to physically go to the detention center, pero hindi ako pumasok dun sa kung saan si Digong. Tinignan ko rin yung kung saan dun yung mga Pilipino na supporters niya, kung saan sila. In fact, I was able to engage with some of them. Hindi naman sila violente in person sa online lang, parang ang gagalaite, parang gano'n.
Buti naman you clarified it. Baka next thing we know, sabihin the news will be dinalo si Digong sa cell.
Oo, nakita ko yung detention center several years ago. Tama yung sabi ni Senator Trillanes. Para siyang country club. Linis, malaki.
We've seen pictures, di ba? Sa social media din. There are pictures going around. So,
sa site nila?
Nakapasok ako doon dahil may kaibigan akong taga-ICC. Nakapasok ako doon sa ICC at saka doon sa detention. Yung detention center, iba eh. Makahiwalay doon sa mismong korte. No? Kaya, pan siya. Kumbaga, kung wala kang kondo, pwede kang gumawa ng krimen at doon ka tumira.
Senator, anong balita mo dun sa kaso mismo? Kasi merong balita dito na merong portion daw dun sa na redacted na andun daw yung names nila Senator Bato and si former Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre. Ano po yung balita niyo doon sa issue na yon?
Ito po, no, itatapatin ko kayo, ang pending na lang ng warrant na maaaring lumabas ay para kay Bato at kay Bongo. Wala kay Aguirre, wala kay Sara, and anybody else. So, kung meron man dyan, baka kay Albayalde pa. But other than the three that I mentioned, wala na yun. Hindi naman kasi ibig sabihin na nandoon sa mga documents ay automatic na. Iba yung threshold nila ng ebidensya dito. Para nga siguradong walang mape-persecute, kailangan yung threshold ng evidence nila is certainty of conviction.
Matas.
Yun ang standard. O kaya ito. Pero itong sa kay Bongo at Bato, siguro earliest ito, baka mga early next year pa.
So,
They are going to be named as what, Senator? Co-perpetrators or
warrant would be issued.
lalabas ang international warrant.
As principals.
they are being named as principals in this case, essentially?
Yes. Kasi silang tatlo yung integral doon sa operation. Si Digong yung nag-set ng policy, si nag-utos. Si Bato yung nag-implement through the PNP. Si Bongo naman yung paymaster.
May balita ka ba, Kero, yung nag-arma, Senator? Kasi pinalabas siya dito dahil wala pa namang arrest warrant siya noon And she is expected to testify sa ICC. Pero ngayon, in-order na yung arrest sa kanya ng korte dito. And merong mga nag-aalala na baka hindi na matuluyan yung kanyang testimony, which people think is critical para establish yung yung payoff, di ba? Yung pay system para doon sa yung reward system, para doon sa systematic nature ng crimes against humanity. May balita ba kayo about her?
Yes. Very crucial, very substantial yung testimony ni Garma at magte-testify siya laban kay Duterte. So, yun na yun. Ang mangyayari.
Sir, Senator,
you
yung
mean
interim...
she's already been chosen with finality as a witness to testify?
Yes, nagkaroon na ng preliminary interviews yan even when she was here. So, arranged na yan and yun na nga na siya, na-assess na essential yung kanyang testimony.
Senator, yung balita tungkol sa interim release na lumabas last week is practically fake news?
Yes. Yun na nga ang reason, yun ang context kung bakit ko pinost yung aking pagbisita dun sa detention facility. Not to visit Digong, again, to clarify. Walang welfare check. Hindi ako kasama dyan. And even that, walang welfare check. Ganito. Ang context kasi, even yung anak, si Gigi Duterte, naglabas ng breaking news, nag-grant na raw interim release ng tatay niya. Sabi ko, ito mga fake news peddlers ito Ngayon, yung interim release, hindi naman natin niro-rule out totally. Pero, ang standard nila ng interim release, talagang mabigat. Yung mga precedents nila na nabigyan before, yung may terminal illness at yung may medical procedure, I think transplant pa yata yun, kung ano man. Tapos, minor cases lang, obstruction of justice lang yung... So, never sila nagbigay ng interim release sa mga principals, sa mga may mga heinous crimes like crimes against humanity. Kaya malabo yan. Then, yung sinasabi nilang uuwi dito at dito mag-house arrest ko ano man, hindi pwedeng mangyari yon kasi hindi tayo member ng ICC. Ang mga binibigyan lang nila ng mga mag-host lang, dapat ICC members. Tupad doon din, tinanggal nila.
Yeah.
So, out na tayo doon. So yung mga bring him home resolution sa Senado, ng mga Duterte senators, pampaasa lang nila yan at dun sa mga pampalubag loob dun sa mga supporters sila, pero alam nilang hindi na mangyayari yan. Ngayon, yung mga host naman daw na meron na raw host, based sa aking last na nakalap na impormasyon, wala pang bansa na pumayag na mag-host sa kanya. Kaya,
Yes, sir.
Bakit lumalabas yung pangalan ng Netherlands, Senator? Sa issue na yan, bakit nagka-crop yung name niya?
Kay Harry Roque.
pero kanino naman nang gagaling? Sa kanila eh. Kaya nasabi ko minsan dun sa mga mga reporters natin, sabi ko, huwag niyo naman kaagad i-embrace as totoo yung sinasabi nitong mga ito. Kasi ilang beses na ito nagsinungaling sa taong bayan eh. Tahasan itong mga to magsinungaling. Ito si VP Sara, the way she utters these words, parang totoo. Pero ilang time and again, ilan na ang beses natin na find out na sinungaling siya. So bakit natin sila papaniwalaan every time? Yun.
Sir, balikan ko lang si Rowena Garma kasi yun nga so she's going to testify dapat with the ICC against Duterte, pero at the same time there's a warrant of arrest against her for the murder of Barayuga. So which one will take precedence and will the ICC try to negotiate some sort of a deal wherein she would be able to testify, and also is she already in the Netherlands? Is she in The Hague?
Let's just say na she's in a safe place, no? Ang masasabi natin diyan, yung nangyari kay Mr. Las Cañas, no? Meron din siyang pending warrant, hinahabol siya noon nila Digong, nagpa-issue sila ng Interpol Red Notice, lahat-lahat. Pero siya, naging since witness siya ng ICC, natanggal siya sa Interpol Red Notice. Kasi may cooperation agreement ang ICC with the Interpol. Alam nila na ginagamit ng mga diktador na may mga kaso yung Interpol para makuha nila yung mga magtitistigo laban sa kanila. So the ICC will, assuming umabot man tayo sa Interpol, which I doubt, sila magtatanggal sa listahan.
But
for as long as she will testify.
But does the ICC already have custody of Rowena Garma? Kasi the last we heard, she was in Malaysia for a meeting with the ICC reps, but we don't know where she went from there.
Kaya nga masasabi natin, she is in a safer place. Wala na sa Malaysia.
Okay.
Wala na sa Malaysia.
Okay. Actually, Senator, si Ed and I were having a friendly debate kanina about that photo that you posted at The Hague.
AI daw eh.
Sabi ko, how sure are you that that's true? Because these days, you can easily manipulate photos, right? But anyways, I feel like we need to take a step back and give some context as to why you were there in the first place. Sabi niyo, Senator, marami kayong nakalap and marami kayong nagawa. What are you there for? And ano yung mga nagawa niyo?
Ganito po. Being one of the first na nag-file ng communication since 2017, meron tayong engagement with the ICC. So, tuloy-tuloy, nag-facilitate kami magbigay ng testigo, mga dokumento, kung ano man. Kaya, merong ganong relationship. At this time around, maraming mga nakalap tayo na informasyon. Kasama na nga yan, yung detention center policies nila para sa mga detainees. Paano sinisigurado na humane yung treatment, actually first class ang treatment. Walang masihigit pa in terms of treatment sa mga detainees dito sa ICC. So yan. Tapos yung access nga, pati nga nung mga bisita, walang limit sila dito sa may mga visiting hours lang o days. Sa kanila walang limit sa pamilya. Tapos yung access sa phone. Meron siyang access sa phone 24/7 si Duterte sa pamilya niya. Kaya yun, nagulat ako doon. Sabi ko, paano yan? Ang dami palang pwedeng bigay na nito, instructions o kung ano man. So yun. Yes.
So
Senator,
he can make calls to his family at any time of the day, 24/7. I asked that kasi
Yeah.
alam natin dito sa Pilipinas, although dapat hindi, pero sa BJMP tsaka sa Bilibid, walang access dapat 'yan. At least in our case.
Sa kanila very lenient kasi naiintindihan nila na ang yung dahig malayo sa kung saan pinanggalingan, kaya para ma-maximize yung visitation privileges, pinapayagan nila. Walang walang restrictions. Tapos yung sinasabing welfare check, hindi totoo yan kasi hindi pwedeng bumisita pagka walang consent yung detainee.
Yes.
Ganun lang kasimple yun. So, yan sinasabi nila na yan, that's a lie. That peddling that lie, parang, pwedeng patayin doon si paano? Hindi pwede. Walang pwedeng makabisita doon na ayaw niya.
In short, si former President Duterte agreed to that welfare check.
Kung meron man. Pero hindi nga ako naniniwala na meron. Kasi lahat ng information na yan na pinag-uusapan natin, galing sa kanila na mga taglay silang mga sinungaling. At may mga agenda. Ganun lang po yun.
Hindi, kinonfirm ng DFA yung welfare check. Pero
ginagawa kasi
ang sabi ng DFA,
meron.
routine daw na ginagawa nila yon sa mga lahat ng Pilipino na nakakulong or in trouble anywhere in the world. Kinonfirm ng DFA. Pero kapag ganyan ba, kailangan ba idaan doon sa abogado o sa pamilya ng detainee?
Hindi na po. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, there is no such thing na may welfare check na walang consent si Digong, kung meron man. Ngayon ako, when I was detained, may mga ICRC na bumibisita sa amin. They can go direct without notifying the lawyers, pero yung mga custodians will ask us kung gusto namin silang tanggapin.
It's your right to refuse.
Saka sila pwede pumasok. Oo, saka sila pwede pumasok. So, nabibisita kami ng ICRC every year. Yun, para ma-check yung condition namin. Pero ito, yung sinasabi nilang kung sino-sino daw pumapasok na walang hindi nangyari yan. That's a lie.
Senator, on a different note, ay nabanggit nyo kanina na kayo yung pinakaunang nag-file ng communication sa ICC. Sama nyo pa nga yata nun si Attorney Sabio. Are you at liberty para sabihin, para lang maalala ng ating mga tigapakinig, kung sino yung isinama nyo doon sa communication na yon ng mga prominent personalities ng Duterte administration at that time?
Actually, collectively, kasi kasama namin, nung nag-file kami ni Congressman Alejandro, aabot na mga 30 personalities yon, police and mga political personalities. Pero since nagtaas na ng standard ng threshold of evidence yung Office of the Prosecutor, ito na ngayon, malilimit na lang sa 3.
Yes.
Tapos yung iba, kakasuhan na lang locally ng ating Republic Act 9851 para yun na yung mga subordinate officials, sila na lang kakasuhan doon.
Originally kasi may nakita akong pangalan ng isang senador na senador ngayon doon sa listahan nyo.
Yes. Marami yun.
Sino yun? Sino yung senador pa rin ngayon?
Si Cayetano, na sama namin siya. Oo.
Sa complaint niyo,
tapos
sir?
Tapos yan, si Bo. Yes, oo. Tapos, in fact, pati si Senator Gordon, nasama namin yon. Kasi sila yung nag-whitewash nung
Defend.
nag-iimbestiga Oo. So kumbaga, institutions because of the state. Kaya yun.
Bok, pahabol ako isa pa. Sir, if you don't mind, kakabilang ng konti. Kasi nung nakaraang linggo, ang daming mga bali-balita ng withdrawal support nung September 21 na naudlot daw. Di ba, Ronald?
Yeah.
So, ang tanong ko po, I'm wondering lang if you've been hearing anything on the ground.
Wait. So, before you move on, can I close the loop on the Duterte?
Sige.
Sorry, Sen, what do you know about yung confirmation of charges hearing? Of course, at this point, it was postponed indefinitely. I wonder if may narinig kayo about it.
Ongoing yung medical evaluation niya. Kasi they were citing cognitive decline, kung ano-ano. So, the ICC pre-trial judges have appointed yung mga doktor to assess independently kung ano talaga yung kondisyon. At marami silang makikita nila yung demeanor kasi yung ano niya, nag-engage siya doon May mga nag-o-observe doon mga orderlies at kung sino-sino mga custodians, nakikita lahat yun. Anyway, after that, baka matapos yan within this month, then immediately isa-set nila. So, hopefully, baka November na tong confirmation of charges hearing.
Did you get a sense one way or the other whether the court believes that he is in cognitive decline? Meron bang indication na ganun?
Well, of course, wala namang official pronouncement in that regard. Pero, most likely, hindi totoo. Kasi especially lumabas lang yung issue na yan just a few days before the confirmation of charges hearing. And in fact, dun sa mga informante namin dun sa loob ng kampo nila Duterte, kaya sila nagdali-dali ng ganun. Even the lawyer, miras lang niya yung motion na yun, citing that. Kasi ang informante namin, sinasabi nila, ma-install na raw ng presidente si Sara noong September 21. Kaya ipapostpone yung confirmation of charges hearing ng September 23. Yun. So in a way, konektado yun dun sa mga dalawan, yung mga rumors regarding
Okay.
Sir.
Yun yung segue.
Sundin ko rin yung sinabi ninyo. So, what information did you get about the September 21 thing? All these reports going around of failed withdrawal support. What exactly did you hear? And if you can give us an idea where you heard it from or who you heard it from?
Meron tayong mga nakakalap na impormasyon. As you know, embedded naman yung mga natin, may mga classmate pa ako dyan sa serbisyo. Very active yung grupo ng mga Duterte. Ang objective nila is to install Sara as president. Yun ang gumagalaw actively. Ngayon, may mga non-aligned officers na concerned lang dito sa mga nangyari na nagtutulak din ng reset. Parang ganon. Then, iba't ibang scenarios. Ngayon, ano yung threat level? The threat level is nasa mid, no? Mid or medium level threat. Pagka nagkaroon siguro ng panibagong politically charged incident or crisis, they may take advantage of that situation again. So, yun lang yun.
You mean another massive rally? Is that what you mean? Another massive rally against corruption that they may take advantage of?
Sinubukan yun. That was their idea nung gusto nilang i-hijack yung genuine expression of grievance and disgust ng taong bayan. Gusto nilang ipaling to an ouster. Pero hindi sila nagtagumpay. Pero what I'm referring to is let's say a second envelope type incident na politically charged, kung magganunan, that may be an opportunity. Ngayon, ano yan? May active group. Ang bottom line dito, may active group na gusto talagang makabalik sa pwesto yung mga Duterte.
But how high is that, sir? How high up? Kasi, di ba, you don't naman need to cover all the bases. You just need to cover the right bases for you to get a successful operation going.
Well, at this point in time, ang model lang naman na pwedeng paghuhugutan ay yung EDSA 2 model, yung withdrawal. Kasi, wala namang organizing or recruiting na nangyayari on the ground. Kasi, bukod sa they don't have time, wala namang gumagawa, walang makagawa. Ganun. So, ito na lang ang tinitignan nila. That's what they're hoping for. Kaya tuloy-tuloy ang pangliligaw nila dun sa mga AFP leadership. Pero, hindi naman sila binibigyan ng atensyon. The AFP is focused on the security concerns. At lang yan, parang side distraction lang yan. However, having said that, kung magkakaroon ng political impasse, they will be forced to confront that issue. And probably they will cross the bridge when they get there. Depende yun. Pero ang nahagip natin, ayaw kay Sara, by and large, ng AFP.
Pero sir, same time kasi you said kanina na merong non-aligned officers who are concerned sa mga nangyari at nagtutulak ng reset. When you say reset kasi, I suppose by that you mean start from scratch or start from zero politically. And kumbaga,
yes. Okay.
Burado lahat ng nasa, well, maybe that's the wrong word. Tanggal lahat.
Ika-clarify ko lang, Eda, mga retired. Sa mga active, walang passive yung mga active officers. Hindi sila gumagalaw either way. Pero yung mga retired, merong grupo nila Duterte, merong retired na mga non-aligned, yun ang nire-refer ko.
So this active group, Senator, yung sinasabi mo gusto talaga maibalik sila Duterte, how big are they or how influential are they?
May mga sila, dati silang mga general din. Pero iba na yung mindset ng mga active officers. Once nag-retire na yan, okay, they will respect them as senior officers, retirees, pero they cannot command them anymore. Ultimately, it's going to be their call. And sa ngayon, they're loyal to the Constitution and the chain of command.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, sorry, balikan ko lang kasi earlier you were making references kasi to meron pa kayong mga active duty na classmates so I'm coming from that when I ask you that question whether or not there is an active attempt within the active service to either put Sara in place or to have a reset. Kasi from your earlier pronouncements na you were making references to your classmates who are still in the service, I had that impression that hindi lang yung mga retired ang pinag-uusapan natin, pero as well, meron pa mga nasa active duty.
Okay. Ganito, iba kasing levels eh. Kung ang model mo yung withdrawal of support,
yes, sir.
Yung top level of leadership lang ang makakapag-decide niyan.
Yes, sir.
Sa experience natin. Wala sila sa ganong level. Pero ito, mga sympathetic lang. Alam mo yon yung kahit vocal sila, pero they are not in a position to withdraw any support kasi pagka hindi yung buong leadership yung nag-withdraw, hindi, katapusin yan. Just like what happened in 2006, sabi nila yung chief of staff, umokay na, pero yung ibang service commanders nag-waiver, so hindi natuloy. So it has to be united. So yung mga ibang nasa fringes, they cannot. They won't move until ano yan, yung buong leadership ang magsasabi. And the whole AP leadership will not withdraw support unless talagang makikita mo, mararamdaman mo naman yan kung untenable yung situation. At sa ngayon, malayo pa tayo doon, but we're not ruling that out.
Okay.
So the threat level at this point remains medium.
Moderate.
Pero sir, kasi...
Bumaba na sa Olecta Law. Kasi na sumingaw na eh. Nagkaroon ng cathartic effect yung September 21 rallies. So, bumaba na ngayon sa law. Oo. Pero, sabi ko sa mga ganyang bagay, ikuha mo sa, you have to play it safe. You have to acknowledge the higher assessment.
Senator, may genuine concern pa ba sa military, sa corruption? Kasi kayo noon, nag-mutiny kayo noon, lagi niyong binabanggit yung corruption sa military eh. Ito ngayon, mukhang buong gobyerno na natin yung corruption. Naapektuhan ba yung military ngayon, sa ngayon? Is it a big issue for them?
Well, of course, especially now sa social media, they don't operate in a vacuum. So nararamdaman nila yan. Pero sa AFP per se, nabago na yung culture, wala na yung ganong passive corruption ng mga babaon, mga napag-iiwanan yung mga sundalo. Hindi. Ngayon, everybody is taken care of. Kaya, yung internal causes for a military intervention, wala. Yung external, yan yung titignan natin sa kung gaano pa lumala itong situation. So, yun po yun.
Okay. Sir, kasi when you give the assessment na moderate na lang yung threat level ngayon, kasi iba, baka iba sa inyo yung moderate versus sa amin eh. Baka sa inyo ibang ibig sabihin ng moderate eh.
Siguro yung tanong mo ay, anong ibig sabihin ng moderate?
Mataas yun. Ang threat level is ganon, mataas yun. Pero wala tayong magagawa. It is what it is. Masyado mainit itong mga issues. Maraming mga personalities na naglalabasan. So, everybody is on edge. Although sabi ko nga, nagkaroon ng cathartic effect yung September 21 rallies. So, until the next, bombshell. Pagka ganon, na yun. Pero hindi na to yung from slumber to something. Hindi. Dito na to. It's a politically charged environment. Kaya, mataas yan. Yeah.
Hanggang sa susunod na kabanata, kumbaga.
Or next trigger.
Kaya nga,
Next
it's interesting when you say that it could be a second envelope type incident. Ano kaya yung possible trigger as far as you can see?
Hindi natin...
I wouldn't know. Pero yung Duterte camp have been creating triggers. Di ba? Nakita nyo naman si Chavit Singson, nag-press con siya, hoping to be the trigger, pero hindi naman, di ba? Kahapon, si Senator Escudero, nag-privilege speech siya, wala naman. So, kumbaga, it's parang tuloy-tuloy yan. Kasi, may nagpaplano. Talagang gusto bumalik ng mga Duterte sa pwesto. Alam mo, pagka nire-report ng mga informante yung kwentuhan nila doon, talagang they're so confident na nakakabalik na sila sa pwesto. Yun, we'll see. Diba? Bottom line, may nagpaplano. Hindi ito parang spontaneo lang or something passive. Pag may nagpaplano, determined yan.
You're saying all of these are coordinated. These are not random separate events. Pati yung privilege speech ni Senator Chiz.
No, I'm not saying that. Maaring may mga random, pero may mga naka-ready na sumakay doon. Sa mga issue. Kunyari may lumabas dyan ready silang sumakay. So that may be random, hindi part ng plano nila, pero sasakyan pa rin nila. Pero in the absence of a random, meron din silang manufactured na triggers na hoping mag-click. Ganun.
Okay.
Okay.
Tibok.
We will let you go. We've taken up so much of your time.
Salamat po. Salamat.
Thank you, Senator.
Tahimik yung topic ko eh.
Oh, I think we said 30 minutes, 20 minutes, pero we ended up taking much more of your time. But thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you, sir.
Senator.
Salamat,
Sonny
Senator.
Trillanes.
No, pasensya na dahil dapat ang topic ICC eh. Pumunta ko saan-saan.
Siya nag-segue.
Siya rin nag-segue.
So I just rode the wave.
Ed, ang tanongin mo, Ed, yung mga tanong mo sa yung katabi mo.
Nagsisigaw ngayon.
Wala akong sinabing gano'n ah.
Yung katabi mo, tanongin mo. Sa mga
No comment
sa mga
ako.
yan.
No, I mean, at this point, you
maraming
can connect the
chismis yan.
dots already, right? We have enough information that's
Ba't mo
public.
ba tinatanong? Nakorek mo na pala yung dots.
Teka, nag-thank you na ba tayo kay Senator?
Oh,
Yes,
thank you na.
nag-thank you na tayo
Thank
kay
you.
Senator.
Okay, thank you, sir.
But,
Kaya lagi mini-meeting nga ni President Marcos yung mga generals.
I was about to say to Senator na, kaya
Medyo nawala siya ng ilang araw.
is that what's called a loyalty check?
Alam mo. Ano, naglo-loyalty check ka kung duda ka sa loyalty.
Oo nga. Mukhang hindi naman, mukhang okay naman yung loyalty sa kanya.
Balik ko lang,
Kasi yung matataas na rango niya, remember, lahat siya na-appointed na niya.
Pero nabanggit nga ni
3 years
Senator...
na 3 years na puro bata na niya yan.
Nabanggit nga ni Senator Trillanes, kung sakaling magkakaroon, nandun sa framework siya ng EDSA 2. Which
Withdrawal.
is a withdrawal of support.
Correct.
A withdrawal of support can only be successful kung yung chain of command
Mataas.
ang mag-withdraw.
Yeah.
Which means it is not a classic coup. Diba? A classic coup is a section of the military launching a power grab against the government at sections of the military defending the government. Yun yung classic na coup. Mukhang ang military nagka-trauma na.
Saka tandaan nyo, walang nagsasucceed dito na kuna, walang
AFP support.
walang suporta ng tao. Hindi, suporta ng tao, yes. And yung tao, susuportahan ba no ng regime change at this point? Kasi sinong papalit? Oh, sige.
Yes. Kaya kung halimbawa, si Manny Mogato mag-organize ng power grab to a military junta, lalagyan niya ng civilian component para magmukhang supported ng mga civilian, hindi purely military, kung sakali.
Si Mogs, hindi yan kudeta, kubeta yan. Di ba, Mogs? Ganun si Mogs eh.
He's off cam. But you were saying kanina, sa segue ka?
Yeah, yung bugat ni Senator Trillanes kanina was ang balita niya dito sa September 21 rally, siya nag-segue, di ba? Ang importante na narinig niya is balak i-install si Sara by September 21 kasi sa September 23, ano yan? Was the confirmation of charges hearing.
That was
That
what they
was
were
the plan.
pushing for
That
at
was
the
plan
Hague.
daw.
Ang sabi daw over at the Netherlands, may install na si Sara by September 21 as president.
Just in time for the 23.
Confirmation of charges hearing,
Hindi
which is
lalong-
why he should be released.
Lalo siyang hindi bibigyan ng interim release. Kung sakali lang,
He came back to
theoretically,
power. Yes.
manalo si Sara, lalong hihigpitan si ex-president Igo. So hindi ko lang makonect yung
logic.
no, nung tingin ko stand-alone yung plano. Walang connection sa ICC.
Pwede.
Tingin ko lang.
Pero napansin ko
Sino ba naman ako?
Si Senator Trillanes kasi appeared to walk back on some of the things that he said initially. Nung una, he was talking about his contacts in the military, including his classmates who are in the active duty.
Makulit kasi kayo eh. Siyempre, kung
Tama.
meron namang
Tanungin
alam,
nyo na lang
hindi
kasi
naman
si
nyo
Ronald.
sasabihin, diba?
Dapat nung kalahati nag-take na tayo eh.
Kulit-kulit nyo eh. Hindi naman yun ang topic niya eh.
Naman.
So may sinabi siya, but he held back some things then.
Wala akong
Later on,
sinasabing
he
ganun.
contextualized things by saying na
Yun yung sinasabi niya eh. That's what his eyes are saying.
Sinasabi ko lang.
There is more.
Hintayin natin yung investigasyon ng kung sino yung nag-back ng yung rally sa Menjola. Kasi tuloy-tuloy pa yan, inimbestigahan pa yan.
Sabi nga ni Reg,
May mga binanggit na mga pangalan actually, kaya lang hindi masabi dito eh.
sabi nga ni
So,
Reg,
tingnan natin.
connect the dots.
There are
Parang na-connect na niya eh.
There are so many dots. Okay, we're over time na, so sorry.
Oo, meron tayong load eh.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining StoryCon today. I'm Bumituan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again 4 p.m. tomorrow, StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the StoryCon Group.